Jeez. Hey, what's going on, guys? Make sure that you stay until the end of the video for a special announcement. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. A while back I did a review on this little Hyper Tough 12 volt cordless cutoff tool, brushless. And my initial thoughts on this little thing was that, you know, okay, it's cheap. Well, cheapish anyway. It's small. Doesn't really have a whole lot of power, but, you know, if it'll get the job done, then, you know, I'm not really going to complain about it too much. But fast forward 6 months and me using it often in the shop, and I've got to say that, you know, I did a little 6-month update on the on this little thing, and quite honestly, long term I haven't been happy with it. But because like I said, I mean, I'm more of a metal guy. I cut metal all the time. I hardly ever have to cut anything else but metal. Sometimes I'll cut some, you know, wood, but I mean, I've got a sawzall for that, or a skill saw, whatever. So anyway, somebody piped up in the comments and said that's probably why they make the 20 volt cordless tool now, and because I think Walmart knew that this thing wasn't doing very well. But I don't know, I still see it on the shelf, so I don't know if that's the case or not. But anyway, that got me curious, because I do have some of the Hyper Tough 20 volt stuff, so I've got a few batteries for that too. I don't have a 4 amp hour battery, but I do have, you know, some 1.5s, and I do have some 2 amp hour batteries. So I went to Walmart the other night and went to the tool aisle like I normally do, and sure enough, they had the 20 volt cordless cutoff tool, and it looks like it comes with all the same stuff that this little guy came with, except in a 20 volt version. And what really blows my mind is this is $10 cheaper than this one was. So let's see what we got here. Now, I have opened this already because I wanted to get the battery out and put it on the charger, so I wouldn't be struggling for the tool test here. All right, let's see what we got. Instruction manual, and here is the tool. And what we got here? And that's that battery charger and blades, and another brochure for their 20 volt line. And this would have been the battery that comes with it, a 1.5 amp hour battery. So, and like I said, I've already charged it. So well, I don't like that. You can't just set it down. Well, anyway, so I guess it'll be laid down all the time. Anyway, we'll put this stuff, get it out of the way, and we'll start comparing the two. So just like the 12 volt model, the blade guard does index. It goes around like 90 degrees, just like the other one does. And kind of shake like this to get the battery away from whatever you cut, and that's nice. Really doesn't, I mean, it feels more substantial than this little thing does, I can tell you that. So anyway, let's put a blade on this thing and let's get the testing underway. One of my viewers got on to me last time about changing the blades with the battery in it, so this one's for you, buddy. Safety first. All right, let's get the blades that come with it. Oh, there we go. There's the wrench that comes with it. And again, we got a metal cutting disc and another one of those carbide type cutting discs. And this one, the carbide, looks like it's a lot more evenly dispersed than it was on that other one. So you can see the difference here. It does look like it's got more carbide on this one, but at the same time, I mean, if it's not evenly dispersed, I mean, I would think you're gonna get kind of a inconsistent cut, but what do I know? Anyway, so it does have the carbide on it, which that's nice, so that's good. So that's what it comes with: metal cutting disc, carbide, multi-cutting disc for wood, plastic, and plaster. All right, let's get let's try this one first. It doesn't give me a direction which way this thing needs to go, so I'll just put it on that way. And blade lock, so you can tighten the bolt down. There we go. All right. So that's a 1.5 amp hour battery. This is a 1.5 amp hour battery. So versus, wow. And they're both brushless, which is nice. Yeah, so they're about the same. Yeah, so it's about the same as far as the depth of cut goes. So yeah, you're not gaining anything there by getting the less expensive tool, which is kind of crazy. All right, I've got brand new metal cutoff wheels in each one of these saws. This is one that came out of this little pack that I still have never used, and this is the one that come with this saw. So they're supposed to be the same thing, even though they just got a little bit different label on them. But we're going to repeat the tests that we did last time with this little guy, but in the interest of a back-to-back comparison, I'm going to go ahead and try this one first, and then I want to try this one. And this is 1/2 inch conduit. Okay, really doesn't have a whole lot of power, so let's try this one out. Well, I gotta say that works a whole lot better. So I ended the last video with this little guy here cutting a piece of this shackle that came off of our old Mustang right here. So let's repeat that test and just slice a piece of this off. Starting to burn my clothes here a little bit. Alright, and guys, I'm really not putting a whole lot of pressure on this thing. I'm just trying to let the blade do the work, and you can see it struggles with the metal. So let's see how this one does. Wow, I'm pretty impressed with that. That thing has a lot more cutting power than this one does. Of course, I mean, I guess it should. This is a 20 volt, this is a 12 volt. You know, I'm really not comparing apples to apples here, but I mean, as far as motor voltage goes, I guess you'd say. But I'm just an amateur tool reviewer, so I mean, you guys don't rake me across the coals too much. I'm just trying to show the difference between this one and this one. All right, let's try the plastic. Now I've got the carbide multi-cutting disc in each one of them, and we're going to try the plastic. So let's try the 12 volt first. Still does good on light duty stuff like that. Wow. Let me try this one again. Wow. So putting about the same amount of pressure on both of them. This one does cut faster than this one does, but this one really ain't no slouch. And now we'll try our piece of 1/4 inch lattice. Same blades. Let's give her a try. pretty good. Again, I mean, this one, I mean, it's obvious that this one's got more power, but I mean, they both do good. And now we're going to try our piece of 1/4 round trim. First with the 12 volt. Cuts pretty well. Well, you guys are seeing it just like I am. There's really no need to say what you just saw there, because I mean, this one still does better than this. But I mean, again, for cutting light duty stuff, this thing does pretty doggone good. All right, now I just wanted to go back and just give this a fair shot at it, because it's a lot more stable the closer you get to the vise here. So let's see how it does without it vibrating around like it was. That's pretty good. All right, now we're going to try the same tests on the wood and the plastic with the sawtooth blade, just like I did last time. And I realized that the last video that I made, well, the main video for this that I made, I never did go back and test this with the saw blade going forward, because remember, I had put it in backwards. So we're going to test it forward this time. And remember, when you put this thing in, the writing will go away from you. Oh, get that one out of the way. The writing will go away from you. So there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, that's right. So let's put the piece of wood in here, and we'll replicate the first test that I did with the sawtooth blade. It does really well with this light duty stuff, guys. Alright, let's make sure it's turning the right way. Oh, helps when you put a battery in it, doesn't it? I mean, and again, this one, they're both on par with one another as far as cutting the light duty stuff. You can tell this has a little bit more torque than this one does, but if you're cutting this light duty stuff, I think you're going to be a-okay with either one of them. So let's put the piece of lattice in. Go ahead. Again, it's just a little bit less torque with this one than this one, but it still does good. And the plastic, with the blade going the right way this time. Makes quick work of that. Like I said in the last video, it does leave behind a little bit of slag on the plastic, but you know, it just comes right off with your finger. But it does good for the plastic. So let's try the 20 volt model. All right. I was getting hung up there. Hang on, let's try this again. Yeah. All right, So, one last thing, the masonry category. Woo! We're gonna take our masonry cutoff wheel and we're gonna put her in. Oh, there we go. Alrighty. All right. Let's remind ourselves. Oh, and one other thing, I did get scolded for not having a respirator on, especially when cutting the brick stuff. So let me see what I can do for a respirator real quick. There we go. Probably should have been wearing this the whole time, especially cutting all that wood. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, so I have to talk a little bit louder, but let's go ahead and, well, what we're going to do is I'm just going to take this thing and I'm just going to plunge it straight in full depth and see, you know, how long it kind of takes for that. So let's try that first. It's not liking that. Yeah. It's not really liking that, guys. So that's about 1/4 of an inch deep. So I tell you what, I'm just going to try this other one and we're going to cut to a similar depth. How about that? And let's just see what it does. All right, let's give this one a shot. We're going to go to a similar depth. Well, the difference is clear there on that one. This has way more torque than this little guy. Phew, that stinks. Whew. And lastly, we're going to try the diamond blade on the brick here. So we're going to see how much of a difference there is between these two with this blade. I think we already know who the clear winner is on this one. I mean, that was really not really even a question in my mind when I started this, but I just wanted to see the difference back to back for these two tools. And so far, the difference is clear. Let me get a fresh spot for my brick here. And here we go. Well, that cuts way better than this abrasive type masonry cutoff wheel. This would be the clear choice if you're going to be cutting masonry, brick, tile, whatever, and just leave this one on the rack. So now let's swap it over to the 20 volt. All right, let's see how this one does. Definitely get a lot more pressure on the tool with this one compared to that one. Whew. And all this has been with the 1.5 amp hour battery that came with this tool. So this would be the clear choice for me. All right, guys, that's pretty much it to me. This is the clear winner for what I am going to be using it for, because I cut a lot of metals and stuff like that, like I told you. So a lot of times you got a lot of, you know, tool pressure to cut through, kind of, you know, to get any kind of speed out of it. And look, I know I'm not Torque Test Channel. I know I'm not, you know, one of these several other guys that, you know, can do, you know, an in-depth review of these things and keep the test environment, you know, as close to one another as possible, you know, for a fair test. I'm just a dork in my garage, and I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm just trying to give you a my real world experience on the stuff. This tool right here, if you're cutting light duty things like wood, plastic, it actually does really good. It did for cutting the masonry or the brick. It did really well with this diamond blade. So it's really not a bad tool, but when you think about it, this is $40 and it's a better tool. This one was $50 and it doesn't quite have the power that this one does. Now I can say that if size is the concern, I mean, this one does have this one beat hands down. I mean, this quite a bit smaller. You can get into a tighter spot with this one. So that, you know, that may be a selling point for this one. You know, it's small size. So, but for me, I mean, I'm usually not cutting stuff that's, you know, that tight. So, I mean, I think this is going to be the ticket for me. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. This tool right here is probably just going to wind up sitting way more than it ever gets used. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it back up. And I've still got the original box. It's got the charger in it. I've still got this. I've still got the wrench that goes with it. And I'm going to take this blade that came with it, and nope, not that one. And this metal cutoff wheel, both of these came with this saw, so they've got very minimal use. So I'm going to put those back in here. Along with the wrench. And I know what you guys are thinking I'm about to do here, but you're wrong. What I'm going to do is, if this video gets to 3,000 views, when it does, I'm going to pick somebody in the comment section that has left a comment, and keep the comments clean, but just, I mean, whatever, just say, hey, I'm from so-and-so, I'm from Texas, or I'm from California, or whatever. Let me know where you're from. And when it gets to 3,000 views, if it does, then I'm going to pick somebody at random in the comment section, and I'm going to contact you, and I'm going to send this to you for free. Because I would much rather see someone get some use out of it, because, like I said, I mean, I'm going to be using this one most likely. I mean, but I don't want to see a good tool go to waste. So what you'll get is, you'll get it just like it came in the box. Tool, 1.5 amp hour battery, and the charger, and the couple of blades, and the Allen wrench, brochure. So you guys make sure you put some comments down there, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.